If we went offline for a moment so we can get the clip for the pre-show, but the Syncularity stream is now on. If you're listening to the stage, please join the Twitch or YouTube stream so that you can see the presentation that we have today. Hi, Miaoshi. We're gonna wait a second for our other guests to come by today. Let's give it a second. If you hear the music, that is our new Concave mixtape. There's everyone. Great. Alright. Let's take off the vent pot now. So let's wait 2 more minutes for people to come in. People are flooding in now. If you are in the stage, please join the Twitch chat. Please join Twitch so that you can see the presentation for today.
bad. I don't know how to dance.
Oh my god.
Jim.
Hello. Alright, let's wait 1 more minute for people to come in. So we have 140 people on the stage. We're only 82 people on the Twitch. Remember, if you want to see the presentation, make sure to join the Twitch. Let's wait 1 more minute for people to get in and we'll be good to go. Alright, let's start then. Our event battle is off. Or if everyone can see the stream, last call to join the stream. If you haven't, the stream has the presentation for us today. And so without further ado, let's get started. So, first of all, thank you all for the community for spending these 2 months with us. It was a very thrilling and engaging time, and exciting time, and I'm glad to have you all here today for the big event. So, this event is the culmination of all of the hard work the community done. It's the hard work of all that the team has done through these past 2 months to get everything ready for you guys. Today we're going to be talking about the technical protocol features, the whitelist. We're going to be showing our new music video today for you guys. So it's a lot of good stuff. So for our guests today, and I'll say thank you guys. We have J-Man up in here. We have Meowshi, and we have Kasuwu. We also have Vogue. I don't know where you went, but he should be here. Vogue, you there?
It's all good. He had to jump into something really quick, but yeah, Volk is here. He'll be joining shortly.
Great. All right. I guess we could just get started then. Have people join the chat. All right. So before we start with the main presentation, there was a music video created by Sujo Nai, and they also helped immensely with organizing the mixtape. But there is this absolutely amazing music video created by Sujo Naya that I want to show for you guys today before we get started. So let's do that. Okay, cool. Let's go to the browser.
Akron,
yeah, I'm just making sure.
Anybody else? Oh, never mind. Sorry. Yeah, go for it.
All right, is the music video showing? Okay, no, it's not showing. I gotta make sure to do that. Okay, should be good.
The people of Concave are something new. We are beyond the distinctions of the past, for we live at the edge of time. We have seen the ravaging of our environment, the pollution of our waters, and the burning of our forests. We've endured obliteration of our minds, stifling our creativity and passions, the containment of our emotions leading us to depression and sorrow. We, the people of Concave, acknowledge the world around us is crumbling.
Stepping up out my cave, thinking what I'ma change today. Fucking right, I'll make my way. Mine until some brighter days. I'm with the mystics, my decisions change the world, I like to say. We just kept working till it's hurting. This don't earn no minimum wage. It's the type of work to earn your keep. I'm learning every day. In the task force, Concave we're searching for the way. Once equipped with a spoon, you'll be surprised what we create. And with the kind of moves we make, I think we change the world today. Ever since the rainstorm, I've been in the cave. More days rolling by on my grind like a skateboard. Seismologist, study patterns in the waveform. Troll pit, overlord, if you wanna say more. And I ain't with the talking, man, this action's all I got. Mixing rebases as passive, got me stacking up the guap. Yeah, there's pain in this life, but that doesn't mean you stop. We just kept going, just keep going till we got yo. In our determination, we shall strive to understand the unknown. The unknown is our friend. As we search for truth at the edge of what is known, we will carry our lanterns for others to follow us in our path. We will light the way.
Yep, that is the music video. Now, everyone, please give a shout out to Shijo Naya. They absolutely did not need to go this hard, but they did. They put so much work into it, and these are the community efforts that we love to see from the community. And this is what we mean when we say we want to let our community create and engage with Concave to, you know, further spread like the message that we have. All right. Yep. Everyone spread some love for the chat for Sigil and Naya. They worked really hard on this. Great. All right. So next slide. This is where we get into the nitty gritty of everything. All right. So our mission and vision. So the mission of Concave is to build on the primitives that we've talked about and to create various unique selling points which generate and distribute value to stakeholders and users. And our vision is to drive meaningful, sustainable, and diverse streams of values back to the community. And so we do this through various ways, through the protocol, through the community, and through our compensation efforts that we'll be talking about in the future. But basically, all of this is centered on, you know, making sure that we support the community in every way possible. All right, so our core values are putting the community first, servant leadership, accountability and integrity, growth and synergy, freedom and equality, being respectful and being flexible, diversity and inclusion. And so I think, and I've seen all of these core values be shown through the team. I've seen them shown in the community, and these are the values that we hold ourselves towards and we hold our community towards as well. All right, now for the product info. So I know many community members were asking us, like, what is Concave? Like, specifically, what is it? And so really quickly, Concave is a V-based DeFi protocol that utilizes its state-of-the-art magic number machine to capture value in DeFi back to its users. It is designed to be a Swiss Army knife for smart money to capture sustainable long-term return in all market conditions. Via the modular nature of its magic number machine, Concave is able to grow treasury sustainably and efficiently in various market conditions. And part of how we're doing that is to create non-dilutive bonds. Yaoshi, do you want to touch up on that a bit?
Hey, good morning, everyone. Yes, well said. And let me just elaborate on it a little bit on my Twitch. Yeah, maybe this is all. You can just go on the next slide. The MVP part. So I think, it's more. This is just words, and maybe it's not that. Yes, illustrative for the folks.
Oh, do you want me to go to the next slide?
Okay. So basically, the essence of Concave, if you follow my Twitter, if you follow the blog, is that we build on the primitive. There are a lot of things going on today. There are a lot of models. There are pros and cons. We study them, we understand them well, and we take the best from all the approaches and put them together, right? And the resultant of that is that we have bounding is a very, as many of you know, right? Bounding is a very efficient, capital efficient way to grow the treasury, which is our minutia, which is our bullet to make the money, right? So we take that from the legacy rate-based model, but we only take the bounding part and we make it better. As a matter of fact, we make the bounding the best, right? That's why we call it a smart bounding machine. That's going to be, we have the best in class automated bounding contract, bounding control machine from policy, to help us grow our treasury efficiently. Not only efficiently, we'll make sure that it grow in a creative way. What does that mean? Is EPS accretive? If you rate my the bounding piece I put out the other day, right? So have the bounding part, and then right, very important. The other very important feature is the bottom right, the lock staking boosting, right? We take the the VE style, but it's not VE. We're more flexible than that, right? It's a VE style staking that is gonna reward, right? The users, right? The community members who want to stay longer, who want to lock their trust longer. We want to reward them disproportionately, more than proportionally, right? And we have a fair as systemized, automated way to do that. With that, together with the smart bounding machine, we're able to make bounding not only EPS accretive, but non-dilutive at the face value. This is the first protocol in DeFi to achieve that. Right?
Yeah.
You can already tell from the Git book we recently updated, like yesterday, right? Policy engineering confirmed we're the first protocol that achieved non-dilutive bounding in a protocol accretive way. We're making bounding great again, combining the VE style, lock staking, and smart bounding machine we have. That's the top left, bottom right. They goes in and in, right? And then the goal is always to drive value back, right? Okay, sustainable, diverse value, right? How are we gonna do that? This is an MVP. This is just the starting. We are a lot of the things, right? I call it a USP, unique selling point, or money making machine. No, just go back, go on that page.
Yeah.
We want to build that. It takes time. It takes testing, verification, right? A lot of probing. Just stay on MVP, please.
Oh, sorry.
Not a USP yet. You go back to MVP?
Yeah, it's back.
Yeah. So we want to build an infrastructure to utilize the future USP is going to build, right? So again, the USPs takes time, but on the MVP, we want to be super thoughtful, want to lay out the infrastructure. So the in-house AMM is the important foundation for our future USPs, which are under development, under exploration, right? Also, we want to build the dividend accruement system in place so that when we earn the money, right, who has been staying with us early on will be getting rewarded. So that's in place. That's the infrastructure for some of the future USPs, and that's the infrastructure for your future dividends, which are also part of the USP, which is our goal, which is to give the value back to the community. Right, that's our USP. That's our MVP. Consists with 4 USPs, but there are more to come. Let's go to next slide.
Right. Yep, we're on the next slide.
Yeah, sorry, my Twitch is a little laggy, so right. So once we have again, right, the treasury the treasury growth is a very important part at the beginning stage of the project, right? Because we're young, right? And treasury is essentially our bullet to make money. We want to grow that. That's the focus. Once we have a sizable treasury, we are going to be implementing the diverse investment and trading strategies onto the treasuries to make additional money. And that part of alpha, majority of that, more than 90, right, will be eventually going to the stakers, to the stakeholders. And I know, right, a lot of the research we done in the early part of the projects around on fork, that's not completely out of the picture. Using that, we have built a pretty good framework on evaluating our investment going forward, right? Not only the forks, but more importantly, we have a lot of experts in not only micro fundamentals but also technicals, right? Especially in this year, we want to be super savvy, super thoughtful in how we position ourselves in various market conditions, short term, medium term, right? Those are the things we're actually going through testing, right? We're going to be through, but we will be we're testing them in small scale but real money setup, so that if we anything we're going to implement to your money to the treasury eventually, right? We want to be testing it. So those are undergo testing, and also, right, the second USP I want to mention is there are a lot of derivative product that's being studied. As if you follow my follow my Twitter, right? So that include we want to create something, especially in this market, right? Like you want a place which you can effectively hedge your risk or effectively speculate on short-term movements, right? In a in an efficient way. There are you just happen to be there are not a lot of places to do that. I mean, I know a lot of there are a lot of protocols, and some of them may not even understand derivative pricing that well, right? Let alone if you want to go to the space of perpetual space, it's going to be even harder. But that's something we're studying, and we want to bring this up to our AMM, right? So the user can have an efficient way, not only pricing efficient but capital efficient way to speculate on certain things. So that's something we want to do. Also, right, a lot of the bonds a lot of the bond or lock staking we're having, right? Eventually, those will be fungible positions, right? I mean, a lot of the inflexibility with the traditional VE model is that you don't have a efficient secondary market to offload the risk. Market changes all the time, and we understand that, right? We don't want to say, give us your risk, and that's not. You give us your trust. You're trusting us for the rest of life. We want to give ourselves the benefit of the doubt, right? I want to give you that flexibility. So our AMM, I think, will be next generation based on a lot of studying we're doing right now. Right now, we're not even talking about we just fork you first to V3. That's barely a starting point. Right? We want to go from the perspective of users, perspective of the community, and a lot of the product that we're tailoring, not only derivative, but lock position. We'll have we'll have a scientific way for you guys, for the lock stakers, or not only for us, right? Other lock positions potentially, right? Whether it's bonding or other protocols, to come here and exchange that, right? With that drives volume, and that would drive another layer of income again, which will be all going to the stakeholders. Last but not least, right? This is DeFi. It's DeFi, and we're going to cross chain gradually, right? And we don't want to miss the opportunity of of farming, right? Especially in the market, as I mentioned, in a volatile market, when the market is in a tightening cycle, when liquidity is in need, we don't want to miss that opportunity, right? Lucrative farming opportunity or liquidity providing opportunities. All right. Obviously, you want to manage your risk, right? Delta risk is a bigger risk, right? There are a lot of protocols that help you quote unquote achieve delta neutral. I mean, you can never be delta neutral. It's only be like pseudo delta neutral, right? But we want to build a lot of things in-house, but better. We want to build a systematic way, right? A diversified way to farm those liquidities, to earn those rewards, right? Especially in the tough market conditions efficiently, right? Mm-hmm. So I think there in the GitHub there is a section about delta neutral. Now, I'm starting, right? We're going to test it, right? Those are the things. We're not putting it on MVP because it's not like, sure, we can, right? We have the thing, we can do it, but it's irresponsible. A lot of things, again, a lot of the USPs, it's time, right? You guys will be at the end of the deciding once you see the results. Okay, let's do this or not. The community will decide, right? Those are the things we're going through at the moment. Again, right? Those are money-making USPs. All the money is going to be getting will be distributing to you guys, right? Not like the bounding revenue is going to be through native tokens, but this will be through a master chef style. I mentioned that many times, right? That's why the dividend accruement infrastructure we're building in the master chef style dividend distribution. Again, it's not a focus as early on, but those things are going to ramp up quickly as the project grows, right? So you don't want to miss that, and that's that's the core of as Akron mentioned, right? Driving value back to the holders. And again, the master chef style is non-inflationary. A few protocols doing that. I think it's a great thing for the DeFi ecosystem. Yeah. Right. Again, this is just I'm a boomer, right? This is all money, nothing creative, just making money. But there are a lot more creative ideas I've been getting from the community, from DMs, from my team every day. I was like, wow, this is mind blowing. But again, I want to build a foundation first, then we do something cooler.
Yeah.
More to come, right? Like you guys see House of Spoon. That's the spirit of the starting. I mean, again, I'm a boomer, I don't got that, but again, my team, right? The community, you guys know better. You guys gonna build on it. But again, a lot of this takes capital, takes infrastructure. We're building them right now, right? The MVP is a good starting point, good foundation for our future endeavor.
Yeah.
So this is my deep dive for that.
Yeah.
Any questions? Feel free to DM me, ask me. I try my best to reply to everyone.
Yeah, and I know Vogue isn't able to be here right now, but something that Vogue mentioned that sort of represents the philosophy of the protocol is that many DeFi protocols, they're very focused on like doing one thing, and then they focus their branding on like all of that basically. But the approach that we're trying to take is that we're trying to see what could be, well, like what hasn't been done in the DeFi space, like what has or what can be improved on, and we want to create like various USPs that drive value back to the community, like back to the holders. And so we want to iterate on technologies that have already been done. We want to create new features, like create new technologies that generate revenue. And all of this would go back to the CNV holders. And so this is sort of the approach that we are taking. And like I will tell you right now, we have a top tier engineering team, and we have a top tier policy team. Like we have a top tier team that can get this done. I fully believe that. All right. That said, let's go to the next slide. All right. So the information that you were waiting for, the Concave Whitelist timeline. Okay. So and all of this is illustrated in the blog, but basically right after this event, and I think it's actually even open for inspectors and operators now. But basically, the call to launch whitelist purchase is today, and so we're doing this in multiple waves. And so, the reason why we're doing it in waves.
Really quick, Akron. For those inspecting and operators, give us a few, just some final touches on it, and we'll be ready, and we'll let you know as soon as it is ready.
Yes. So basically, we want to split the whitelist into waves because there have been if you are familiar with the space, you'll realize that like many protocol whitelists have gone wrong, and so we want to make sure that we're not overloaded with whitelists. We want to make sure that each step of the way that everything is going smoothly, and so this is why we're splitting the whitelist into waves. And so basically, you'll have a situation where wave one miners, which it corresponds to your highest role. Wave one miners will be to purchase today after that is done, probably after the event. And so after 24 hours after wave 1 miners get the right to purchase their token, wave 2 miners will be able to purchase their tokens the next day. And after that, 24 hours later, wave 3 miners will be able to purchase their token. And all the times are the same. They're going to happen at 10 a.m. Eastern. Okay, so I'm going to go over who is in each wave. Okay, sorry. So for the whitelist info, we have a 333,000 initial supply, and each token is priced at $50 worth of frax or DAI. Now a lot of people bring up the price, but they don't realize that it's not about the price, it's the market cap. And so we're basically going to be raising $16.5 million for the treasury, which is 333k times 50. And so this is like the start for Concave. And then once we build the treasury, we can do things like the USP, managing the funds through our policy team, and making sure that we distribute, that we have a starting base to distribute back to our holders to grow Concave as a whole. Right. So wave 1 happens today. It's going to be for inspectors, operators, policy senseis, and echo captains. And so if you're an inspector, operator, policy sensor, and echo captain, Doge already sent you a form probably like a week or two ago asking you like how much of the allocation you want to purchase at a cap of 25,000. And so these people, based on your interest form, as long as it's below 25,000, you'll get around the amount that you want. And for the Echo team, you'll get $2,000 for the role. And so, the roles are stackable. So if you have an Echo team role, but you also have other roles, like these are added onto each other. You can find the allocation for each role with the the question mark. It's a command. Like there's a command where you can see the roles. It's also available on the blog. Like all the information is available on the blog. It's available on the commands if you want to sort of calculate your allocation. So that's wave 1, which happens today. So wave 2 is tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern, and the roles for this are Chief Alpha League, Vice Chief Alpha League, which get $3,000 in allocation. Historian, Engineer, Researcher, Policy, Reddit Lord for $2,000, and I'm not gonna go through like the rest of these. You can see it on the stream right now. So 24 hours after that, we have wave 3, and this happens again the day after wave 2 at 10 a.m. Eastern. And so these are the allocations for each role. And again, make sure that you add all of your roles together to see what your allocation is if you're curious. All right, I'm gonna give everyone a second to look at that. And this is all in the blog, by the way, so you don't have to look at everything. And wave 4 is going to be for 24 hours again, and it's going to be for the NFT holders to visit the site and swap their FractSty for A tokens. So all NFT holders will be capped at $1,000 A token redeeming for their support for the community launched NFT projects. Again, this is a first come first serve situation. So we try to make it as fair as possible for everyone, and we think we calculated a good amount for everyone. But again, it's first come first serve. If there's demand, and if there's like too high demand in the other ways, if it's all sold out, then sorry. But NFT holders will still get their P token airdrops. By the way, you will still get P token airdrops, regardless of the whitelist. We believe this is the fairest way to reward a community without causing a stampede or allow whale bots to buy everything. Proof of work and trust are always the top priority for our team, and we're always looking for feedback on how we're doing. The past few days, the past week, I think the team has really stepped up with communicating with you guys. We have infographics. We updated the Gitbook today if you want to take a look at that. We have multiple blog posts now, and we also have like a video for like a how-to guide on how to do your allocation. All right, so the P tokens. So P tokens are stakeholder tokens which are distributed to the team, community contributors, and NFT holders through airdrop. And so the goal of PCNV is to make community contributors real owners of the project so that everyone in the community will be motivated to fight for the long-term success of Concave. So say you're a community member, you have a great idea that you want to do, and this already happened. For example, two people in the French community, Art Time and Jim Aligino, they wanted to make a comic book for Concave. And so we said, great, you can make a comic book, and we can see how we can reward you in PCNV for your hard work. And so if you have any like initiatives that you want to do, if you have any like community efforts, projects that you want to do, like reach out to us, reach out to the team, reach out to the overseers, the operators, inspectors, and we can see if your project makes sense, and then we could work with you to support you on this endeavor. So the all of these tokens, PCMV, ACMV, these are all precursor tokens for the Concave native token. So you can swap your PCMV for the native token by providing 1 DAI or 1 frax. And the P token supply will be 3.3% of the total supply for CMV. All right. Now we have the C tokens, and so this is called the BBT CMV. Or we just call them the BBT tokens. So the BBT tokens are just seed tokens that are distributed to seed investors. I know a lot of people were concerned about, VCs dumping on us, or how the BBT CNV price is 5 times lower. That's not only the case. So The first thing that I want to bring up is that seed investors were vetted, and only the ones that truly believed in the project were allowed to invest in the treasury for the seed tokens. And I could tell you right now that many investors, they wanted another model, and we basically said we couldn't give some of the investors the model they wanted, because ultimately it would not be a good model for the long-term success of Concave, and it would also hurt the community in the long run. And also, for the price of BBT and CMV, yes, it's $10, but it will have a 1-month cliff and a 12-month investing period. And one thing I want to bring up is that BBT CMV is not protected from dilution. It's not protected from dilution, so other than the price, you have to take into context the situation, the context regarding.
I gotta speak a few things
Yeah.
about the PPT because I'm involved in designing it. So, so to know that there's a 1-month cliff and also a pretty you can start at 2% at 2 months. There's a pretty strict vesting schedule, and it doesn't go up with the supply. So the goal of that is that just to see the investors, they are contributing relatively larger size, right? We want to protect their interest. So it's lower because we want to give them a relatively low break-even baseline, right? However, number one, we don't want them to dump on us. So we create this vesting schedule, right? So that's the purpose of that vesting schedule and the cliff. And secondly, right, we acknowledge, okay, this is low, right? We don't want to be make we don't want to sacrifice the interest for the community, right? Obviously, the community is paying higher, right? So it's lower, but we want to take away the flexibility. If you do the Whitelist, right? You got your token, the A token, basically right after launch. You can stake. You can do whatever with it. Like you can get the staking reward right away, but they cannot, right? It's just the goal is just a lower break-even baseline, but we take away their we want them to capture their gains in a more controlled way without hurt the interest of the community, right? So in this way we achieve both goals. That's the whole purpose of the design.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So also with so we're going to be talking about the A tokens as well. So we're not. So for the A tokens also, remember you can stake your A tokens and they are liquid. So there are advantages. There are advantages to both sides. So that's for the C tokens. Okay, so we also want to talk about a little bit about our partners. So we have many partners, but we're going to be talking about the main ones that we're going to be working with to build up the Concave protocol. And the first one is tokenomics. So our goal is to firstly aim to accumulate tokenomics tokens to direct liquidity to our own AMM pools. Secondary tokens can receive bribes from Tokevote, providing us with another source of revenue. And so what we believe is that Toke is going to be one of the major players in DeFi in the future, because liquidity, it will always be in high demand as long as DeFi maintains its user base. And so as other protocols fight to accumulate Toke, the price of Toke will naturally rise due to higher demand, and Concave will benefit as an early Toke holder. Concave vision is to ultimately become the arbiter of liquidity and the enabler of frictionless value transfer of different chains in the DeFi ecosystem going forward. We are very the tokenomics project is amazing. We work closely with some of the people with tokenomics, and we think they're a great partner to have along with Concave. All right, and another project that we're working with is Inverse Finance. So Inverse Finance, and I personally worked with Inverse Finance before I came to Concave. But Concave aims to accumulate DOLA, which is basically an over-collateralized stablecoin from Inverse, and we're also accumulate their stablecoin and IMV into the treasury. And accumulating DOLA will grow the treasury's reserve assets, and the DOLA can be used for creating leverage and native yield, but the main purpose will be for Concave to hold safe, stable assets in the treasury. Accumulating IMV, which is their governance token, will grow Concave's governing power over inverse finance. And so the IMV will become an essential asset as there are many parameters that are governed by the DAO. All right, and so for another partner, we're also partnering with Frax, and we aim to accrue Frax and Frax shares in our treasury. So Frax offers an excellent value proposition, helping realize our dreams of becoming a big player in the DeFi space. And Frax stands to gain from us a permanent sync of Frax in the form of treasury, more liquidity for their tokens of our trading pairs, and a strong community collaboration cross-pollination of devout followers from both sides. Now, these bullet points are just very, we cut off a lot from it, but the full article, the full text of these partnerships will be available in the Git book, where we go in depth about how, we're working through these partnerships to develop and grow with our partner protocols. We're also working with, we're also partnered with, a lot more protocols like, Redacted. But for the purpose of today's event, we just want to talk about these three projects. But we're definitely partnered with more projects as well. All right. So something that we told Andy to do last night, and he spent a long time working on yesterday, was making this meme for us as a replacement for Miyashi's wisdom. Miyashi, how do you like that meme? Is this your first time seeing it?
Full send.
Full send?
I'm leaking.
You're leaking.
I'm leaking.
Basically, this part is, we just let Miyashi talk about his vision, talk about his love for the community, and talk about the protocol and what Concave will look like moving forward. I don't know if there's anything you want to add to that.
Little announcement. The operators and inspectors, it is live now, so if you do have access to that whitelist link, you should be able to start redeeming your allocations at the moment.
Any failed transactions for gas costs will be reimbursed.
Cool.
On the old contract, and the people who did mint will get airdropped over to the other one.
Okay. So yes, it's live for inspectors and operators. I don't know if you is there anything? I know you already talked a bit about the protocol. Is there anything you want to add to that, Miyoshi?
Yeah, like not on the detailed, not on the detailed level of what we're gonna do. I just wanna, hey, again, like, I appreciate the reason that I value trust a lot is a lot of people trust me. Not a lot of people, not only on the team, but a lot of people here in the community, right? I came to policy, I know nothing, but I'm from the community myself, because a lot of people give me the trust to help me, to support me. This is a lot of, we already built a lot of things. This is not the power of, an individual, right? It's a power of trust. It's a power of trust. I just want to say I really appreciate the trust from everyone, the support. I'm here to learn. As a lot of you know, I'm new to DeFi, but this is so interesting, right? And also we have a great community with great resources. I'm staying up.
Yeah.
I'm staying up every night just to learn things, build things, and I'm super excited. I'm super bullish. I have a lot of you guys probably know. Hopefully this doesn't get out. I have a pretty good. I work in a hedge fund, right? I'm pretty comfortable, but I'm probably gonna quit that job because Concave. This is where I believe the future is. This is why I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna stay in the ecosystem, in the community, and this is how bullish I am. So yeah, I appreciate the support, appreciate the trust. I will try my best. I'm looking forward to working and learning from all of you guys. This is not the end, or we launch and that's it. No, this is barely the starting point. It's barely the starting point, and super excited for the journey going forward.
Yeah, and then, I'm from the community as well. For Inverse, I just did newsletters for them, and so I came in, I came in at the start and I was like, I could write some articles for you, and now we're here. So all of this is community driven. Like, we're all here because we want to be here, and we believe that the project and the team and the community we can get this done. Like, we can be a big player in the DeFi space. Like, we have the tools, we have the resources, we have the talent to do so.
And now the runway.
And the runway. Exactly. So we will do our best to earn your trust. We're not asking for blind trust. Like, we will gain trust through our actions, because we believe that we need trust from the community, and we need to earn that. So, if you're looking to be with us, I'm gonna join the whitelist. We're looking forward to being on this journey with you. Great. All right. Kusil, you want to say something? All right, we're gonna have our Q&A.
Yeah, I was going to say the Git book is pretty much nearing completion, right? Like, we're about ready to circulate that now.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly like at its point right now. It could already be circulated. Yeah, if you want to like know more about specifics of protocol, technical features, partnerships, things like that, feel free to look at the Git book. We did a major overhaul of that. So, yep. And now we're going to be having a quick Q&A, not too long, because I know people need to fill up their whitelist and things like that. So, let's see. So, basically, in the beginning chat, you could feel free to ask some questions, and our community team will pin these messages so that we could take a look at them together. Okay. So let's go through some of these questions. Okay, Realkish asks, if I buy an NFT if I buy an NFT now, will I be able to buy on Wave 4? No, the answer is no, because we already set the snapshot for the NFTs a while ago. Basically like a few days ago, because we didn't want people to like start sending their NFTs to like various addresses so they can game the system. And okay, so that's that question. Let's see what other questions we have. Okay, so what's the is there a chance the other waves get fucked and no token left? It is first come first serve, but I'm pretty sure the policy team did some necessary calculations to hopefully make sure that this doesn't happen. But the whole situation is that it is first come first serve. It is first come first serve, but if the calculations are good, everyone should be able to get a certain amount of allocation. All right.
And the later folks, right? Like, as the whitelist rounds go on, those are the higher, quote unquote, higher tier folks, right? So I don't think, at least by my understanding, or is it the other way around?
Yeah, like I mean, one thing that I know that the role system has been a bit complicated with whitelist, but think about it, like, we are the only project that has done like this whole role system with whitelist, and we did it because we want a fair, we like this is like truly, I think, the fairest whitelist that has ever been created in the space. Maybe there's some other projects that did a good whitelist, but I think we did a pretty good job of making sure that everyone has a chance. And that yeah.
Not to mention, like, there was a substantial, we were initially going to pretty much mimic the P token launch mechanics of Ohm and so on, because on first glance we thought, oh well, this is probably good, but realized that those mechanics gave so much dumping power to holders of the P token. I mean, Olympus themselves had to make requests to those holders, if I'm not mistaken, to hey, please give us back some of these P tokens. It's going to fuck the price up. So anyway, that being said, like, in terms of a fair launch, putting a lot of time into the tokenomics of these tokens to really preserve premium, preserve the integrity of the protocol, give people an opportunity to get in early, but not in a way that absolutely devastates new buyers. So definitely a lot of thought. Miyashi, of course, I'm sure probably talked about this, and so I had to step away. There were just some engineering things that had come up, but yeah.
So, yep, we're making sure that
Everything's just remember. Look at my name. Everything is scripted. Everything is calculated. We put you guys first, and we like the goal. The goal is not to make everyone 100% happy, but we want to be fair to the collective interest. We want to be fair to everyone. Also, we want to again. The goal is always right. It's not our individuals, but the collective interest for the community.
And you know,
It's all scripted.
if you have any doubts on the tokenomics, you could do the calculations. Like Doge did the calculations himself with the seed round tokens. Like it's very friendly. We're trying to do the best of both worlds. Like we want to make seed investors happy, but we also want to make sure that that they don't just that venture capitalists that are angel investors don't just dump on the community. Like this is a very
and on that note, like we really were not interested in maintaining partnerships with any investor, big or small, unless they had the intention to collaborate and to build with us, right? Like it was not simply a, hey, you have money in your hand, well, we're happy to take it. There was a long line of people interested, and many were rejected because it just didn't make sense, or it was clear that they were here to be vultures. And I think that goes even for the A token list. Anyone who's here, anyone who's whitelisted, has clearly shown that they're willing to contribute to this community intellectually or through whatever means that they can do so, whether it's a music video or some art. And those are the people who are being rewarded because ultimately they're the ones actually responsible for the success of the protocol, which is, of course, perfectly in line with what a cooperative is. You know what I mean? We all share the fruits of our labor collectively. So that's the kind of folks we want on the ground floor. When whales come in, those are the kind of whales we want, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to second the point. Then I'll move on to Nakash. I want to second the point of Kasu's mentioned, right? The problem with the legacy P token models to a lot of other protocols. Right? It's basically it could kill the project in certain market environment from get-go. Right? We understand that. We didn't say, okay, if you don't take it, we educate the a lot of investors are interested in that model, but we educate them, right? Again, they're part of the community too. The goal is to maximize the return for all of us collectively, whether we're investor, contributor, community member, user, ourselves, right? Team members. Yeah. So that has always been the goal, which is why they want a different model, which will hurt your interest, everyone's interest. We say no, right? This is why the reasonable, the super bullish one, right? They like the current ones. They got convinced by us. And then I saw a question by our favorite best trader in America, Nancy Pelosi. The thought process of that, or someone followed why is public price starting at 50? It's not, the 50 is only for whitelist. The initial market cap, the initial treasury back in the market cap, right? That's basically from the whitelist sales, right? It's not like when we launch goes to secondary market, it could be very, very much higher. We're not, so that price is only for whitelist members. Logically, right, at the starting point, we have a treasury as the same size of market cap. If we do our job right, the market cap will only go up. So I hope the math or the logic behind what we're doing, why we're structuring is clear.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you, Nancy?
Yeah. Okay, so
crypto finance. If yes, just type 1 in the chat. Yeah, I think Nancy's comments.
I do want to go over some of the other questions. And Infinity has a good question. What is the strategy for current market conditions?
I don't want to publish. I don't want to promote my Twitter that much, but I think I Also my tutor is pretty boring. It's all this study, logic, model, academia stuff. Like it's super boring. But I think in one of my recent ones, right? And I talk about volatility. I talk about what we're gonna do, the focus on, right? So again, we have a diverse suite of USPs or strategies. So just before that, right? My view has been. I mean, I know in your term, someone could be, right, if you're a technical expert, you could be quote unquote cautiously optimistic because Fed is over, right? S&P seems fine, and if you look at the trend, the short-term perspective is good. But again, we're at the starting. It's inevitable. We're at the starting of a tightening cycle, whether you like it or not. Right? Doesn't mean it's like shit show. No, it doesn't have to be, right? I think Joe Powell did a pretty good job managing the market expectation. Also, if they stay a little bit behind the curve, basically, raising rate a little slower, condition implies we're gonna get a pretty smooth ride. Maybe an even good tightening cycle for the capital market, especially right for inflation hedging sector like crypto and DeFi. So I have a little faith in that, but doesn't mean I'm truly going to believe that. I'm physically preparing for the worst. So we have a lot of proactive gauges, levers, indications, right? I think CB, who's pretty active in the community, is helping us construct that. Also, along with Franklin, they deal with a lot of money, their life as well. So once the market is turning, as the market is growing more and more volatile and bearish, the focus, right, of our development and adoption of USP will be switching to the defensive ones, right? From the defensive, from the treasury portfolio management perspective, that's going to be, delta neutral, low delta farming or pseudo delta neutral farming or stable farming, right? We're going to be creative. It's not just a plain one, but we're going to be creative and more strategical about those, right? Those are the ones, and then. The other defensive one, defensive US will switch to, right, on the utility providing side will be LP, will be LP, and also our AMM related products, right? We need to provide the smoothness, the liquidity, right, to the market. As I mentioned, theoretically that's good. Like everyone in DeFi should do that when volatility comes, bearishness comes. So the focus is going to switch from the aggressive ones like VC investment, right, to this kind of things, and also through the bonding side, right, we're going to be a little bit more strategical as well. What kind of bonds we're taking in, what is the pace, right? Going to be more opportunistic, less pace, which is good. It preserves your value, preserves your EPS, right? Also, we're going to be shifting that to a lot of the LP bonds relatively, right? So a lot of things going to adjust. Like the goal is boom right away, right? Lever comes, we got proactive signals, the concave treasury machine boom switch at a finger snap, and community will say okay, it's good, right? I mean obviously a lot of things coming out. It was proposals coming out, but that's the goal.
Okay, so Calabok, thank you for that. Calabok asks, what is the longest lock period exactly? Or do we have an idea about that yet? Or no?
I want to keep that. A lot of things, right? We don't. A lot of things we want to be stress testing this, right? I can give you that. If we change it, I'm irresponsible. I can, it will be very reasonable, right? That the range will give you the flexibility, also the room to really express your trust, right? Think about, it's going to be comparable to existing protocols, but we want to be a little bit granular. We want to be a little bit thoughtful in crafting those. So I can't give you the answer right now. But again, this is a parameter change. We can literally change that, with the finger snap down the road. So yeah. Hope you're happy with the answer.
Cool. All right. Let's see. Okay, so I mean, I could speak on this. So I know there were many people that are like, "Can you give us a specific date for launch?" And we didn't want to do that because we didn't want to overpromise and underdeliver. But Kusu, do you want to talk about the dates, like the date range planned for launch?
Sure, yeah. We could definitely talk about a range. So, yeah, so where to start? We, of course, have a couple of different considerations, right? We want to put out something obviously extremely safe and also a product that we're confident in terms that the market will, benefit from it or be enticed to use it and such. And, there's some degree of complexity with doing that. We're constantly whiteboarding things and attempting to translate policy ideas or engineering ideas into actual products and such. But, people are very antsy, I hear, from Akron. And if we don't make it by Q1, I guess it's the end of the world. So we're right now, the timeline is looking basically March. The broadest is to say March. Whether it's the 1st of March or the last day of March, I would say it's earlier in the month, but please don't hang me if it comes into the second week of March and,
Yeah,
we're a product. Yeah. But yeah, I would say March is good. Everything, at least as of yet, I think we're pretty solidified now in like an actual MVP, the product line we want to roll out. And we've come to the decision that, we're going to do rigorous internal auditing. We're going to get external auditors. We are going to submit them for audits. But this is kind of the main sticking point is, audits can take a while to actually finish. But, we want to give you guys something soon. So we were heavily considering, once we're internally satisfied with the level of testing that has taken place, and we've passed it along to our partners to also do some vector testing, and they come back and are happy with it, and at that point we're satisfied as a team. The audit is really an optic thing because, to be honest with you guys, I've been in projects that have gotten many audits and there have been exploits, and it's not like a one-off thing. It's kind of common. Makes you wonder even if auditing firms are black hat or white hat. But in any event, our plan is to release in March and try to do our due diligence as much as is possible while also delivering a good product and so on. But that's like the short term. The mid to long term is going to be really continual product rollout, right? As so long as we have runway, our plan is not to stop. Our plan is to keep building on top of what we have and expand in ways which are respecting current market conditions and cognizant of our other product lines and leveraging our partnerships also to guide where we build and how we can serve our community, but also serve the extended Olympus ecosystem and the aligned ecosystem and such. And honestly, I'm very bullish on what we're going to produce for our initial product, but I'm way more bullish on the things we're going to build after the fact. And because this is going to serve basically as a think tank for, DeFi products broadly. I mean, we're going to start with financial, looking like derivative financial products of some sort or other. But the room for expansion, really, there is no limit. We have an operational budget now, I think, sitting at something like 8 to 10 months, if not longer. And that alone is going to give us lots of time to build. We're already, if we're going to deliver everything by Q1 and have something operational and functioning by Q1, even in the most bearish scenario where our protocol, say, doesn't pick up the kind of traction we were hoping, all it needs to do is generate enough profit for us to keep building and figuring out how to make it work better, So long term, in my opinion, there's really no way we fail. So long as, because we have all the people here, we have the talent, we have the network, we have the runway. It's kind of surefire. The only thing that could possibly happen would be like some 0-day exploit, but that's something that exists in the entire space. There's some nobody can foresee by definition. So, yeah, it's probably going on a bit too much, but those are some of my thoughts. Context, hopefully.
That's really good. Yeah. I know people want. Some people are saying like, why isn't the product launching like tomorrow? I'm like, we need to make sure that our protocol is secure, and that it's safe for everyone to use. Like, there has been a lot of internal auditing being done.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like, that's the funny thing, right? It's like, we could, technically, we have lots of stuff all ready today, to launch, but would it be prudence? Like, do we really want to release something to our community that could potentially bankrupt them? I would say no, even if that potential is low, which at this point, there's already been rigorous testing done on the contracts to date, but, if due diligence is due diligence, right? You don't just do one step. You go through the whole series of steps necessary to secure a thing as much as you possibly can and really take an intense look at the code and make sure, because I don't know how technical you all are out there in the audience, but, Solidity, it's if you have one line of code before another, that's enough for a re-entrance attack, It's extremely sensitive language, so, like, you can't understate or trivialize the importance of a rigorous audit, internal audit and external audit and such. So if we don't deliver something, it's really for the sake of the community, to protect the community. It would do you guys no service. To release something that's not really ready to be released.
Cool. All right. So how many tokens have been allocated to the seed investors? I remember seeing a pie chart showing this is 6.7%. So it means 22 million tokens. If yes, in 2 months from launch, 2% will be vested, so available for sale. I mean, that's sort of a mouthful. I don't know if that made sense. How many tokens have been allocated to the seed investor?
Nashi, go.
Sorry. What was the question?
How many tokens have been allocated to seed investors?
I was suggesting 666,999, but it was rejected, so it was 666,666. 6 sixes.
Alright, so Ted the East asks, can we see the processes of every wave? Like, how much fund has been raised?
That's, I think, the question more.
Yeah, that's I think that's more for, well, I mean, could you see it on chain technically?
Sorry, could you say that again?
Can we see the process of every wave, like how much fund has been raised?
Of course, I mean, the contract's live. Contract, you'll see there. If you go through the transactions, I mean, we're not gonna. Fortunately, our developers are busy on the back end and the functionality of the applications. Fortunately, we don't have a front end to show. Hey, we've raised this much. It will be released once the rounds are done. But you can go into the contract itself and see the transactions if you really want to, and just see how much. If you go into the contract itself as well, you'll see where it's being sent to the treasury, and you should be able to see that as well. I mean, that's all totally public through the blockchain. There's no reason to reinvent the wheel, to see that. Like I said, we do have a lot of stuff in the works as far as the application and the back end development. So it's not something at the top of priority of our list right now.
Yeah, it's sort of the beauty of DeFi. You can see everything on chain. So just go on Etherscan.
Our treasury address is in our contracts itself, so you can take a look at that. If you follow that through, if you go to Gnosis Safe, even there's a really nice UI that'll show you, like, all, not just the list of transactions, but how much coins are in, blah blah blah, and you could break that down by day. So that UI actually already exists. There's a third party hosting it called Gnosis Safe. Maybe we could circulate that link around. It might be cool for the community to see.
Now that it's finally live, we can start sharing that as well, and full transparency as well. You'll see the treasury. The treasury is where the original, actual, and just to clear up the NFT stuff, we do have a utility for them. We will be doing gating, and it's a complete community initiative. We're going to be doing NFT gating for individuals to enter exclusive areas in our Gather Town. But on the NFT topic itself, relating to the NFTs, remember, this was a community initiatives, right? We tasked the community to come up with these NFT projects. All these NFT projects, which are community members, were the ones that received over 80%, depending on the project, of the funds that were actually for the minting process. The treasury was actually sent a very small portion of the proceeds of the NFT collections. I just want to make it clear that I know we haven't released much details, but we will be doing it soon. We're we kind of got front ran by everybody already, saying that there's no purpose of them, but there is a purpose. Gather Town NFT gating. We're gonna do exclusive events for NFT holders. But on the money part itself, the Treasury does hold that. As a matter of fact, we never made it public. The little bit amount that we did get from these NFT sales that the community did was actually used to purchase owners. And that's been sitting in our Treasury just, basically getting rebases. At the core of our vision, it was being part of the home ecosystem, and that's what the first thing we did with whatever you did receive from that. But I just want to be clear on the NFTs. And aside from that as well, you can also see on the Treasury, the seed funds that have come in, everything from these contracts that come in. So that's fully transparent. This is DeFi, guys. You can find all this stuff. You just need to know where to look exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, I think this shit is good. I think this is good. I want to make sure that people start doing their whitelists and stuff. So I guess I just want to call it there. All right, last question. Are our tokens locked? Yes, 8 tokens are not transferable until protocol launch. Okay, all right. Can we get Epic to say hello? I don't know if he wants to do that. All right, I guess not. All right, guys. With that said, we want to make sure that the first wave of people can start doing their whitelist. Be mindful of gas costs. You could always take a look at Etherscan for gas. And yeah, so the whitelists, we're gonna be releasing how-to guides. We have the Gitbook ready. We're releasing like a how-to video as well as a blog article on how to do the whitelist, in case you are confused. And we're gonna be sending out all of the whitelist websites, the whitelist links right now. All right.
Yeah, we'll be sending that out shortly.
Yep. With that said, we are excited to be on this journey with you. The community has been like the blood of Concave since the start, and we hope that you are. We hope that you stay with us and that you join us on this amazing journey. Wag me, everyone.
Wag me.
Wag me. All right. Let's go.